Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue with the friendship readings and this is going to be dedicated to the boys Juyeon and the Magne and Eric. Actually this has been requested for quite a while by different people. And you know that I want to grow my community of DOBs in my channel. Unfortunately, I cannot find them, but I truly appreciate the ones that are part of my community and that I'm always learning a lot with them. So yes, this is going to be dedicated for these two. So let's begin with Juyeon. I placed Juyeon on the left and Eric on the right. For Juyeon, I got the Knight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, and 10 of Wands. And from Eric's perspective, I got the Nine of Cups, Six of Swords, and Six of Pentacles. Then the relationship as an overall, the King of Pentacles, Three of Cups, and Eight of Swords. So I think that seeing it from Juyeon's perspective, definitely he feels very responsible for Eric, and I think that this is actually very expected because he is oldest. They are both Capricorn, but I definitely feel like for Juyeon it's fun to take care of. It's not take care. It's more like to accompany Eric. You know, to be a sort of like. Yes, he can have a sort of a style that can look like he's the dad, because you know Saturnian guys they have a lot of vibe of fatherly vibes, you know. So even when he tries to be funny and cool and entertaining, you know, and it's like, okay, you and me, we're going to have fun, somehow it always sounds like serious business. But definitely here, Juyeon is very passionate about this, and he has very clear that he has a very dynamic relationship with Eric, in the sense that he feels like he can be honest and very honest with Eric. And I don't know why, I feel like he can even get a bit more adventurous with Eric. And I feel like he does this. There's a difference, and probably this has to do that probably for him he doesn't experience this with the rest of the members. But with Eric, and it's not only about age, I think that it has to do with maybe that also Eric entertains him, or somehow that Eric is his energy is very contagious. So somehow also Juyeon allows himself to be that passionate as well, you know, that spontaneous, you know. Definitely I see him like having a lot of fun and moving around. I see him like you know, being very invested in like, okay, let's go here, let's do this, let's move this here, you know. And also I think that he then can get a bit, when it comes to work, he probably gets a bit strict with Eric. You know, he's like, okay, like I don't mind to teach you all over the details, you know, what we have to do, but you have to pay attention. It's like when we are playing, we're playing, but when we are working, we are working. So definitely he also feels responsible for that, you know. It's like he has his fun side, his very like entertaining side, where he also allows you to himself to connect with his inner child, because sometimes I feel like like Juyeon definitely is very fun. It's just that it takes a while for him to actually open up. It's not easy to see him. Like he can have his moments, but most of the time he's thinking about ways to improve himself. And this is very earth sign. You know, he's definitely thinking like, oh, I am having fun here, but I know that I have to work or I have to practice on this because I've been told that I'm not good at this. And here with the Ten of Wands, I feel like definitely he feels a bit burdened sometimes. He feels the burden. He feels a bit exhausted sometimes by responsibilities. And I don't know why, but he feels very responsible for the rest of the members. And there are moments where he feels very tired, like, and I know that they are all tired, but in his case, he doesn't like express it. He doesn't let it show. And this is his biggest burden, you know, that probably, and also he doesn't know how to set healthy boundaries. You know, it's like he wants to be there for everyone. And I believe I said this when I read for Juyeon for his birthday reading, that there's something that he has to learn, that you know, he has to learn that, yes, he always puts other people's needs before his. And I believe that also here is like he loves to take care of Eric, like in a sense that he wants Eric to be okay. He wants to be a great companion to Eric, but there are moments where he is very tired, where actually he feels very like exhausted, really like exhausted. So maybe he can get a bit moody or a bit distant because there's so much in his mind that he just, you know, he just cannot like separate himself in different pieces, but he tries. He tries. And also I think that it's a coping mechanism, you know, probably he feels he feels a heavy burden, so I don't know what kind of I know there's a feeling that I think that he promised something to someone and he's keeping that promise, even though for him it's a very heavy burden, you know, because he has to probably work on himself and he also has to keep this for others, you know. So I don't know if maybe this promise was made to Eric. I have a feeling that it's about not letting him alone. You know, like he compromised himself with Eric. So I think that probably he's like, okay, Eric wants to do this with me, so I have to make time, but I'm busy, and I have to somehow like do both, you know. And sometimes he's like, he probably doesn't even enjoy things because he's tired. So yes, but definitely he's like it's just that I think that Juyeon is the kind of person that he does things first and then he reflects on them, or he reflects on the result. It seems like he's very excited to be accompanying Eric. Like for him, it's not, you know, it's not hard to do. Like he really enjoys it. But he also has in mind that he has to keep working on some other things. So, you know, there's no much time left, and he wants to make it last. And of course, that we also have to take into consideration that probably, you know, he's also been asked by other members to do something. But I think that the one he looks forward the most is Eric, because I don't know, he feels very fun with Eric, like very, very outgoing, very excited. Probably he learns a lot from Eric as well. Like he really is interested in Eric. You know, it's not that it's the typical relationship of, oh, I'm older and you're the youngest, and I have to, you know, you have to follow me around and do what I say. No, for him it's actually very fun. Like he definitely has a fun time with Eric. But I think that probably, you know, I'm getting this feeling that I don't know if Juyeon actually is asked to practice more than the others, or actually, and I'm saying this as the present and possible future. So I don't know if maybe the company is actually like asking Juyeon to participate on different projects, so they are like giving him like private lessons about different things and different very like various that it's outside the group, like learn new skills, practice this, practice that. So this is why he feels so like the extra burden, like wow, I have so much to do. But he got once, so definitely he's not suffering. He's a guy that he can take it. He's actually very, I wouldn't say workaholic, but he loves to be in action. He loves to put his body to the test. And yes, there are moments where he feels like his body cannot take it anymore. But he will keep going anyways. He will keep going. He will keep going because he has a strong will, and also because he's very passionate about his work and about his members. So he will not let anyone down. From Eric's perspective, we have the 10 of Cups, 6 of Swords, and 6 of Pentacles. So for Eric, definitely he feels very happy that when he is with Juyeon, I feel like a lot of people know this, probably they observe this. There's a shift in Eric's energy. And he feels like definitely he had won at life, because I believe that probably Juyeon is the one member that he admires like a person, and also he's like, oh, Juyeon is so cool, Juyeon is so, but also he finds Juyeon cute, Eric actually is a very profound person. Like he's not the guy that everyone says that he's very social, but definitely when he puts his energy to it, he's actually very sensitive and he can see who is a good person and who is not. So definitely for Eric, he feels like in his safe zone when he is with Juyeon. He feels like he definitely values Juyeon's opinions the most. He feels very understood by Juyeon. I feel like he finds Juyeon someone very trustworthy, and obviously he wants to learn from that, because Juyeon has a sort of temperance, a sort of temperance to his persona, that it seems like he has everything under control. And probably here, with all the 10 of Wands that we have here from Juyeon's perspective, he doesn't have anything under control. But he has that sort of aura that it seems like he knows how to remain professional, or he knows when the time is right for expressing, and then he keeps it to himself. And Eric, in that sense, Eric is much more emotional. Eric is much more like open to the idea of, come on, let's talk about how we feel. Like, talk to me, like, let me know how you feel. Like, Eric is a bit more like welcoming of emotions. He's like, okay, I'm feeling this and I need to express it. Because, it's just that Eric has a sort of like freedom to his spirit. He somehow had always had people that had accompanied him, in the process of learning, and also adapting. So it's like he feels welcome anywhere he goes. And it's not just welcome, it's more like he gets comfortable with the idea that, oh, this is a different situation, okay. Because his mind is a bit more flexible, and probably since he knows of other cultures, he is, and also he's very verboratic. He talks about how he feels. He doesn't wait for someone to give him permission, or he doesn't even wait for his turn. He just says what he feels, so he's a bit much more free in spirit than Juyeon. Also, I think that he enjoys the most the traveling with Juyeon. I think that wherever he goes with Juyeon, he feels very happy, very happy. He feels very and also he wants Juyeon to know different places. He probably talks to him about technology and different experiences that he had in different parts of the world. It's like he wants Juyeon to understand. It's like a sort of like a teacher, you know. And even though he's the magne, he's a sort of teacher for Juyeon, because Juyeon has a very traditional like experiences, you know. So talking to Eric is like, wow, you saw that, like you lived that. Oh, this happens, you know, in the other side of the world. Oh, this is, you know, and also about technology, you know, probably, you know, sometimes Jujeon has these questions or these sort of like things that he doesn't understand, but he feels very ashamed of asking, you know, because probably he feels like, oh, people are going to be making fun of me if I ask about this. But with Eric, he's like, oh, I can say this out loud, and actually he's not going to make fun of me, or, you know, and I think that also, that Eric, it's not just because Jujeon is older than him, but he also is a very understanding person. So probably he's like, oh, I know, probably Jujeon didn't get this, or Jujeon didn't understand this, so we're going to go through this together, especially when it comes to knowledge. And I believe that Jujeon is a very curious person. You know, this is why he was represented by this Knight of Wands, because he's excited. You know, he's like, wow, every time when I'm with Eric, I also have fun, but I also learn a lot. So, you know, I feel like, wow, this is great, you know. So yes, definitely. And I think that this is something that probably for Eric it's very important, is that he feels like, I don't know, treated fairly. You know, he feels like, definitely, I don't know if Eric, when Eric is in Korea, I don't know where he lives or who he lives with. But probably since, you know, he comes from another culture as well, there's a lot of interactions that he has with Korean people that probably he feels treated unfairly, or he feels like treated very cold, like they are very cold towards him, you know, and he has to hide his true self. And also probably he gets really hurt, he gets offended, you know, he cannot say anything, of course. But in the case of when he's in this connection with Jujeon, definitely he feels like, you know, like Jujeon really is very nice to him, that is very fair, you know. And also that Jujeon is not overly like expressive or, you know, or loving, but he is a guy that he's fair. What you give to him, he gives back, in a sense that definitely Eric it's very emotionally attached to Jujeon. So Jujeon is like, okay, I know this guy likes me. This guy really like admires me because he told me so, you know. And so, you know, I'm going to love him back, you know, or I'm going to do something or say something to make him feel better, you know, in his own way. Because also Jujeon is very like, I wouldn't say he's robotic, but he's a bit like awkward when it comes to expressing how he feels, but he has his sweet moments or his sweet gestures, and Eric gets that. And for Eric, it's like, wow, like I feel like, yes, like I'm feeling very good inside, you know. It's like when it's a sort of father-son relationship, you know, even though they have moments where they are like brothers. But I think that there's something about Jujeon's formality that it reminds Eric a father figure. And I definitely believe that for Eric, also being a Capricorn, for him having Jujeon reminded him of a father, it's like, for him it's like something that he needs. I don't know why. He even enjoys when Jujeon is strict with him, or when Jujeon like reprehends him, or when Jujeon is upset at him, or, you know, tells him, or, you know, like corrects him, or is like, don't do that. You know, he takes it very seriously, and he he loves that because I don't know, he just feels like Juyeon is a good guy, is a good person. So he's like, okay, if he's telling me, if he's teaching me a lesson, like I know that he's doing it from a place of like really doing what's right. So definitely he's an example. Juyeon is an example in his person. It's not that he's like a typical that he's going to tell you what to do and then he's going to do the opposite. No, Juyeon is like, he lives very diligently, you know, and he has very strong values. So definitely, I sense here that I don't know Eric's relationship with his father, but probably there's some absence of father figure. I don't know why I feel like Eric is very surrounded or had always been surrounded by female energy, so powerful female energy, but this is why he's more in contact with his emotions and sensitive side, and he knows how to recognize this side. But I feel like he definitely probably had been looking for a father figure, a present one, and he had found that in Juyeon. And I feel like this is also very Capricorn, because we Capricorn people, and this is not just to generalize, because I know that there are people from other signs that have like absent parents, absent fathers, or you know, a harsh relationship with their father. But especially for Capricorn, we tend to have a very like conflictive relationship with the father. Either it's very good and it definitely marked us as person, it definitely like inspires us as person, as people, or either that the parent is totally absent and it's negligent, you know, and definitely it is. This is where we try to find fathers in other aspects of our lives, you know, at work, with friends. I don't know, and somehow we crave that, and we lean towards those people that have very fatherly vibes instead of motherly, you know. So yes. Then the relationship as an overall, they got the King of Pentacles, Three of Cups, and the Eight of Swords. So definitely, I think that they are going to be celebrating. This is going to be a very prosperous year, and they are going to keep making very lovely memories together. Definitely, they are a very stable duo. They are a very stable dynamic. They definitely like have great time together. But I think that probably they will also go through some challenges where they will want to celebrate more and they will not be able to do that. And I think that probably this has to do with their busy schedules. But yes, they probably can talk to each other about, I believe that they always talk about this, about that sometimes they feel a bit like limited, you know, that even though they are very happy that they had accomplished something, they still feel like that's not good enough. You know, these people are very ambitious. Both of them definitely want to aim high. They want to do better, they want to be better, they want to be the best, you know, and this also talks about, you know, being financially independent, you know, and they have very strict goals, you know, and probably they have that in common, you know, that and of course that all the boys are very ambitious and hardworking people, but probably, you know, the way they express themselves about their goals is very similar. And they also, I think that when they talk to each other, they also like, I wouldn't say they complain when they are expressing themselves, but they know of their limitations. You know, they know that they wish they could do more. It's like they're celebrating that they have this, but they are like, oh, we still are not there. We still are so like tied. I don't know if they feel like they're tied to a concept or they're tied to something that doesn't allow them to to expand the way they want to, because they definitely feel like they already are very mature and very experienced in the field, and they are very proud of that. They definitely celebrate this, and they will have a lot of wins this year, and they will celebrate this together. But I think that probably they want to explore a bit more of options, and somehow they think they have this feeling of like, oh, we cannot do that for now. We cannot do that. So there's a sense of insatisfaction, and there's also a sense of like, oh, I want to break the mold and do more and do different. But no, actually, it's like the whole path, at least for this year, it's like already organized. So yes, it's already decided for them. So maybe that also brings them a bit of anxiety, like knowing that, probably they would want to do things differently or have different ideas or concepts, and it's like very repetitive somehow. And they are like, okay, when is this era going to end? Because I want to try the other thing, the other option. I know we can do it. So yes. So yes, guys, this is all I have for them. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.